having a heat wave, a tropical heat. Well, you are.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Gracefully and Frankly, episode 185. I'm Erin Davis.
I'm Lisa Brantz, and we got a bunch of new listeners. We'd like to say welcome. Thanks for coming aboard.
Yep, we have no idea where you came from, the mothership, or what it is, but we're so glad you're here. But a special thank you to every one person who has been here from the get-go or just joined us along the way. We like to think we've gotten better over the preceding 184 episodes. If not, what are we here for, right?
Right. I always want to tell people, please don't start at episode 1. Please pick out something that you like the description of and start there. But
yeah, that's a great idea.
Not up to me, no.
Yeah. So, yes, most of Canada under notable heat this week. I mean, we know July, it's going to be hot in Canada for the most part, but you guys are suffering through it once again. Your husband's favorite time of the day is in the sauna because it's probably a relief.
Yeah, well, it's in the cool basement, right? I just literally don't go outdoors. I went out the other day only to shoot a silly video about how few tomatoes I had, and that was it for the day. Back inside, it's just too hot. I mean, the Humidex is 42. It's silly.
Yeah, well, you're also playing nursemaid to Cuddles. And last week we got an update on the emergency visit and the hours and hours waiting and you having to do injections daily. So are you just about at the end of that road, or how's he doing? How are you doing?
Last one last night. Oh.
Yay.
You know, it got a lot easier after hiring a vet tech to come in and do it right in front of me again. But he is just to the point where he was just like, yeah, okay, you're going to pick me up. I hate it, but I know what's going to happen. He doesn't even fuss, nothing. He's feeling so good. And he must know that we're trying to do something good for him. So, and I've heard from lots of people, Erin, who have had to do this with their cat. I'd never heard of it before. So it's made me feel a lot better about it.
How does one get a vet tech? Do you just Google one near me, or did your vet recommend one? How did that work?
I went onto Facebook on our Port Stanley activities page and I searched for veterinarian home visit because I know there are a couple of sort of vets on the go. And this woman came up. I actually contacted one of the vets and they were way too expensive just to come in a bunch of times. I thought I might have to have them come more than once. I mean, they're worth it, don't get me wrong. But then this vet tech showed up as she does home house calls after her regular day job. And she lives not that far away. So it was just perfect. She came for, half an hour, answered all our questions, did the injection, showed us how it was done. It was great.
I'm going to ask the question everybody's wondering. What does that cost?
It was $50.
Okay.
And it would have been 3 or 4 times that to have the veterinarian come.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. And at the time, I didn't know if I was going to be able to do this thing because you have to puncture his skin and it's a big, hairy needle. It's not hairy, but you know what I mean.
Good.
It's hairy by the time you get done with it.
Oh.
And every time I've showed it to someone, Erin, I stab myself. Every single time. So I stopped showing the needle to anybody. Our wonderful neighbor Carol wanted to see what it looked like, and somebody else wanted to see it. Every time I stab myself. So
this is why we can't be influencers. This is why we don't do videos for things, right? We have sponsors on this show, but we don't get out there and do things because we're going to hurt ourselves. Yeah.
This is why I didn't go into healthcare.
Right.
Because, did you ever see that old, and I'll share it on the Facebook page, clip of Tim Conway?
Yep.
And Harvey Korman
in the dentist's office. Of course,
right.
It's classic.
It is a classic. And Tim Conway just keeps accidentally injecting himself. That's me as a nurse.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, thanks for fair warning. That's good. And great update on Cuddles. Thanks for that. I'll tell you, what's an injection of feeling good these days? It's just so nice to settle in after a day of whatever, click on Netflix and watch Little House on the Prairie. I'm so hooked, and I'm feeling so bad that we're getting down to the last 2 episodes because goodness knows how long it takes to shoot an entire episode back in the 1880s on the prairie. It's going to take a while.
They all have to stand still for so long and not smile.
And then you got to wait till the post office is built so you can send the reels and get them edited. No, but seriously, Little House on the Prairie is just the sweetest lemonade for a hot summer evening these days. Have you caught on to it?
We've watched 2 episodes so far, and I like it. I like some performers better than others. I think the Osage neighbor is gorgeous, but looks way too much like a fashion model. I think his name is Dances with Sephora.
Oh,
but his skin is too perfect. His hair's too perfect. These kinds of things bug me. But I love the performers, and I'm really warming up to them. And of course, the more that come into the series, the more you remember, oh yeah, that guy was this, or oh yeah, this was this. I think we're going to really like it. It's just I have to get past a couple of the little things that my crazy little brain tells me.
Yeah. Well, I love the Osage neighbor. I'm not going to lie. He's delicious.
He is. He's too delicious, though. He doesn't look like he's got a callus.
Well, he's a businessman now. I don't know. But you're right. They're supposed to be all roughing it here in the woods in Kansas and, the prairie in Kansas, because they mention the prairie all the time. But can we talk about Charles Ingalls? Oh, my goodness, what a gingham-wrapped snack he is. Oh, come to my picnic.
You know who I love, her performance-wise, is the woman who plays Ma.
Caroline, yes.
Yes, and I looked her up, and her first name is Colby. That's all I can remember. But she hasn't really been acting all that long, and I think she's just fantastic. And the kids are great, and
they are. I used to so dislike the character that Karen Gracefully played on the OG LHOTP back in the 70s and 80s when we watched it, because it was all, oh, Charles, oh, Laura.
Yeah.
It was just like, toughen up, lady. You're out there having babies in the outhouse. Go and, be
goodness.
Well, there's got to be a catcher in there somewhere. But honestly, I didn't really cotton to that character at all. But instead of a Nellie Olson, I think we've kind of got the store owner and Nellie Olson all wrapped up in one with their persnickety, know-it-all, gossipy neighbor. And I think that's going to work out quite nicely, too, in terms of characters. But don't want to give too much away.
Please don't, because it's getting kind of interesting, wondering where things will go.
Yeah, well, it's just a feel-good show if you have Netflix, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. I've been telling all my neighbors about it. Just shouting out the window like they would have. So, something's been happening in our lives this last couple of weeks, and it's had us so shook, as the kids say, or Rob in his case, because we spent about 20 minutes at the doctor's office talking about a few other things, but about this as well. And I'm going to go back and tell you a story that all links into this, okay?
Okay, yeah.
About 20 years ago, 2 guys got together here on southern Vancouver Island on the peninsula named Bryce and Tom, and they set up this hockey league for players who are over 50. They're old-timers in the parlance of the age group, and just for guys who aren't good enough to play against the real good ones, but really just want to play hockey. So they became the Retreads, and so Rob joined the Retreads when we came to the island and got to meet Tom and Bryce quite a bit, but they eventually, Tom and Bryce, aged out, and they would still come for hockey games and just to have free coffee for life with the guys who so appreciated them. And these 2 men were the best of friends. Rob was very sad when he got an email message from his hockey buddies about a week and a half ago that Bryce had passed away. And it was quite sudden and, mid-80s. And to anybody younger than 60, mid-80s seems old. But we're here to tell you it's not. And he died suddenly. And the first thing Rob did was picked up the phone, left a voice message for Tom, and expressed his condolences that his best buddy had died. Well, now we don't even know if Tom got the message because Tom up and died.
No.
Isn't that something? I mean, these 2 guys who were joined at the hip replacement, And they both died like within a week of each other.
And they weren't sick, like it wasn't kind of expected.
No. So it made us think, well, first off, it took Rob out at the skates because he's thinking, and this happens as people age. And anyone in their 90s will tell you one of the hardest things of living that long is losing all of your friends.
Oh, yeah.
But Rob at 72 shouldn't be losing friends, although he does hang out with a lot of people who are older than he is. So, he was talking with the doctor about this and how it's just really taken him down and talking about ways to deal with it and that sort of thing. But then I got to thinking, Lisa, about broken heart syndrome. And I know it's an actual medical thing. And I wonder if that's what happened to Tom.
It sounds like it's certainly possible. It made me think of Carrie Fisher and her mother, Debbie Reynolds, and how, Debbie Reynolds died planning Carrie's funeral of ostensibly a stroke, but Carrie's brother, Todd, says, no. They were peas in a pod. That was broken heart. But the emotional stress of losing someone who... there's a real name for it. It's called Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. I looked this up. I'm not a doctor. The heart muscle weakens because of intense emotional or physical stress. So, like you said, it is an absolute real thing and can take you out if you're too distraught over the loss of somebody close to you.
An actual thing. Well, I believe in it. I believe in it.
Oh, for sure.
We had such a dear friend who died about, it was 2003-ish, so let's say 20 years ago. His wife immediately had a heart attack, and she said, no, I'm not going to leave my kids with, 2 funerals to plan. But on a very sweet note with Bryce and Tom, their memorial is going to be, their widows got together. It's a joint memorial, and it's being held tomorrow, and all the hockey guys are going to be there.
Oh, that just makes my heart swell. Oh, that's wonderful.
I said to Rob, wouldn't it be nice if you guys could do a hockey stick honor guard or something? But it's going to be kind of a drop-in thing, so I don't know. Maybe they can take the gloves off and punch each other. I'm not sure how they would.
Everybody loses a tooth.
That's right, those who still have them. But yeah, so that was just, to me, the sweetest, saddest story of 2 buddies who just... we're meant to be together in this life and the afterlife. It doesn't get much sweeter.
Makes you think like Bert and Ernie. What would happen to Bert? Like, right?
Yeah.
Hey, there are a lot of people who have never seen an envy pillow, Erin. I know you can't imagine, but there really are. So if you've never seen an envy pillow, I want you to think of a regular pillow and then going to a dumpster and putting that regular pillow in the dumpster. Then look at the envy pillow because it's much prettier, and it's got kind of higher sides and a little lower in the middle because you have the crook of your neck that needs support, but your big old melon needs to lie a little lower to keep the spine aligned, and that's one of the things it does for you. Cheap regular pillows put your neck on an unnatural angle and don't support it at all. And your neck is doing all this work all day long, holding up that head, and it deserves some respect and support. And that's only one of the things the Envy Pillow does. In addition to not being full of chemicals, it's made of natural latex, which until I learned about the Envy Pillow, I didn't even know existed. I thought latex was, a chemical-laden made in a lab, but there is actually a natural version, and they don't use anything that would harm the planet. Check it out, see what the fuss is about, because all pillows are not created equal.
Yes, go to envypillow.com. That's ENVY pillow.com. That's what the V's about, is that shape Lisa's talking about. And use the code GF for 10% off. You and I sometimes will wrap up the podcast, Lisa, by saying, well, my dear, and...
oh, yeah.
But dear... something we do like to see here on Pender Island, but you don't like to hear it. And you wrote a blog about it. We got to get into this because I think you're not alone.
It's all contextual because you calling me dear is absolutely fine. It never even registers. It's just like whatever. But somebody younger doing it with sauce, So what happened was I was in a grocery store and I was looking at a shelf, and I guess I looked a little clueless because I was looking for something I couldn't find. And a guy came over to me, a guy who worked there, which was great because when does that ever happen?
Mm-hmm.
He came over and I would guess he was in his late 50s, mid 50s. And he talked to me like I was frail, fragile, simple, all those things wrapped up into one. Just the way can I help you find something, dear?
Oh.
And, oh, yeah, there's just the way it came out of his mouth. Now, yes, it may have come out in his mind helpful and respectful and whatever else. To me, I just wanted to throat punch him and say, do I seem fragile and frail now? But, yeah, it was not appreciated. And a lot of people wrote comments about when I posted the blog post about how they can't stand it. And the first time they were called ma'am and all that kind of thing. It's, ma'am you get used to eventually because, okay, that's an adult woman. But this dear just sounded like he was ready to give me my pudding. And, it wasn't appreciated. How do you feel about being called dear?
I don't know that I've gotten it yet, Lisa.
Bitch. No, I'm kidding.
I know. But it could be because I'm tall and I present as able.
Yeah.
It could be more of an ableist thing, too.
Oh, that's true, too. And it could also be a shortest thing. He could be sizest.
Imagine the amount of condescension that people in wheelchairs.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you know what it made me think of was when my dad had mobility problems and my brother and Derek and I would take him out for breakfast or something and people wouldn't talk to him. They'd talk to us. And, it was so insulting and so awful for him.
Mm-hmm.
But some people do that when somebody is physically disabled. And I don't know what they're thinking, but that's what it made me think of.
Yeah, well, I've taken you way off track here talking about the deer. But you know what really, really bugs me is seeing younger women called sweetie. And I've seen this. I have a friend who does it when we go out. He'll call the bartender or the server or the flight attendant sweetie. And I know he has called me that, and I don't mind it because I know where it comes from. But to them, it just sounds like it's just wrong. It's an anachronism. And it may come from a good place, but that's not where it lands. And that's what we have to be aware of now, right?
Right. I think it's probably up to the women to say something to him if it bothers them. I have said to Derek before, he used to have this thing where if he saw a woman, like a server or somebody who had tattoos on their arm, he'd want to see the tattoos because he likes them. And he'd grab their wrist and start looking at their arm. And I'd be like, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
And I know him. I know he means no harm. But he's like a bull in a china shop sometimes. And I just had to say, you cannot grab somebody's person.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, do you mind if I look at your tattoos? Lean your arm over or something. But
did you say look at or lick?
No, look.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
No, if he's licking them, that's when he's out with the guys, and that's not my problem.
Right. You don't want to know about it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's things that we do carelessly. And I'm sure, again, back to the store guy, he was just... I could understand it if you were living in a long-term care home and that sort of thing where nobody knows anybody's name and everyone is dear or sweetie or my love or whatever. But, oh my goodness, yeah.
It just seemed a little early for a deer. But again, I don't know where he was coming from. And I know this is my incoming filter that has made it into what it is. But I'm just going to get a hat that says, don't call me dear.
Yeah. And then we'll finally put a deer in the spotlight.
Great.
Instead of the headlights. Yeah. It's funny to think that your joints can hurt in the heat because we've talked about pain in the wintertime when that synovial fluid kind of freezes up. But it can affect your joint pain, and so many Canadians are going through terrible heat right now that there was a newsletter from sierrasil.com, and you can subscribe or you could just go there and read it. And one of the tips, Lisa, that jumped out at me was hydrate like your joints depend on it, because they do. That cartilage, the slippery protective cushion inside your joints, it's made up of about 80% water, acts like a sponge. So when you're fully hydrated, the sponge absorbs shock efficiently. So you got to make sure that you hydrate. Drink water before you feel thirsty. It's like you telling me to put on sunscreen before I go out and 20 minutes before. I've been thinking about that for the last week or so since you and I talked about it. Thank you very much.
And one of these days you'll do it.
No, I am doing it. I'm not just thinking about it. I'm actually doing it.
Excellent.
I learned something from this podcast. And if you learn anything from this podcast, it's that you should check out Sierra Sil. These capsules that are anti-inflammatory, they're all mineral. They're so good for you. And they come with a guarantee. If they don't change your joint pain within 14 days, staying hydrated, you get your money back.
Check them out, sierrasil.com, Sierra like the mountains, SIL.com, and your GF code will get you 14% off your purchase.
Do you smell it? That smell. The kind of smelly smell. The smelly smell that smells. Smelly.
Oh, geez, this guy sounds like me.
Anchovies.
Why is that?
What's that smell? Well, no, it's not anchovies, but in my case, it's usually diesel fuel, it's fuel pollution, or it's wood smoke. We're talking about an actual thing, and it's called phantosmia. Phantosmia. And I've been looking this up, Lisa, because I've been suffering from it, along with about 5% of the population. So I realize this isn't hitting everybody, but somebody listening, besides my friend Nancy, someone listening knows exactly what I'm talking about, where you have phantom smells.
So what? A smell that you smell even though it's no longer around?
Correct. There are triggers for it. Paint is a trigger. I found that. Riding in the convertible on the open road close to the highway, that's a trigger. Having a truck in front of me spewing stuff, that'll be a trigger. And then it stays with me literally for days. If there's smoke in the cabin because of the wood fire, stays with me for days and it's no longer there. And it's called phantosmia. So somebody else has to have this. And the first thing you think of is, well, is it a brain tumor? And that's one of the things that they rule out first. And I'm not concerned that I have one.
Right.
But it's just a thing, and you have to retrain your olfactory senses, your smell senses, to trigger two other things. And some of the things you do include smelling different essential oils during the day.
That was my next question.
Yeah. Eucalyptus is a good one, apparently. I don't happen to have any of that around. But also lining your nostrils with coconut oil. So now I keep a little tiny tub of coconut oil and a Q-tip in the door of the Mini. And I'm going to be keeping it in the other car for when we're on the ferry so that I don't allow those fumes to kind of plant themselves in my nose. Isn't it weird?
It is kind of weird. When you started talking about lining your nostrils, I was thinking about wallpapering.
Well, anyway. That's right. It's taking it down that hurts. Trust me.
Oh. Now, you have to have smelled the smell, and then it just doesn't leave.
That's right. And it can be only an inkling of a smell. If somebody blows out birthday candles, that's it. I'm triggered. So it's just one of those crazy, crazy things. And a saline wash, like using a neti pot, waterboarding yourself is what I call it. That also helps. But I just wanted to let other people know that if you have this thing, and who knows, it could be postmenopausal because so many stupid things are, like a runny nose and itchy ears. It could be postmenopausal. But if you have it, you're not alone.
Wow.
Yes.
I'd never heard of that before. I know I'm annoyed by certain smells, but I think everybody is.
Yeah. Why can't it be something nice? Why can't it be lavender?
I know. Instead, it's like farts or diesel or whatever, right?
Imagine the farts of Vin Diesel. They must be really something.
I can't imagine he's got a good diet.
Jeez.
Potato-based Vin Diesel.
Well, we lost a couple of celebrities this week of note, and so much love coming out for Sam Neill.
Yeah.
The New Zealand actor who burst into our hearts, of course, with Jurassic Park, but he was in The Piano. I remember him from Peter Rabbit. I think he was the farmer who died in Peter Rabbit. Sam Neill, 78, seemingly his non-Hodgkin's lymphoma had gone into
remission. He had just announced it, and everybody was like, okay, we can breathe a sigh of relief about Sam Neill.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah, and then Bonnie Tyler and Randy Mantooth. Did you have a favorite when you were watching Emergency as a kid?
Oh, Randy Mantooth was my man. He was my first grown-up crush. He wasn't just a teen idol. He was like a real man. And I was listening to an interview with him because I went down a little rabbit hole after, and he was talking about how he didn't even know what a paramedic was when he took the role.
Yeah.
All they did to increase the profile of and the ubiquitousness of paramedics. And I mean, we were so influenced by TV back in the day because we didn't have the internet.
That's true. Yeah. But one by one, the folks we grew up with, and I guess we're just getting used to it as every generation has.
It's just reality.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you know what? We didn't hear from Carol about whether or not the Kiwi idea for sleep had worked for her. So I had an idea.
Uh-huh.
Why doesn't everybody call us, everybody in the world, whenever they have something great they learned that they want to share? Go to gracefullyandfrankly.com, click on the little microphone, tell us something you learned that you want the rest of us to know. There are so many things that we have shared and talked about that are new to us that we didn't know that are better for our lives. All sorts of things, including, the Kiwi trick. Yeah, it didn't work for me long term, but it's certainly working for my friend Carolyn and other people. So yeah, you never know.
Okay, pretend you're a caller and tell us the fascinating fact that you've been dying to share with us this week. Like if you were leaning over, Lisa and I were sitting in a coffee shop having our chat for a half hour every week, as we do on Gracefully and Frankly, what would you lean over and say? Oh, my dear. No. Oh, ladies, you got to know this.
This isn't going to change anyone's life, but I was shocked, I tell you, to listen to Candice Bergen on a podcast or other, I can't remember which one, and she was living with a record executive in Hollywood. They were together, and a man came to the door, and it was this creepy little guy with a mustache asking for her boyfriend, and she said, no, he's not home. Her boyfriend said to her, after she got the guy away, said to her, we're moving, and he said, when? And he said, now. That was the house where Sharon Tate and everyone else was murdered by the Manson family because they were coming for Candace's boyfriend, who wouldn't give Charles Manson a record deal.
Terry Melchior, right?
I never knew his name. I didn't catch his name, but I had no idea that Candice Bergen had been living with him. Wild. It was just a wild story. I mean, she's got a million great stories, but
no kidding.
Missed it by that much. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's my story.
That is interesting. Yeah. And we'd say, okay, thanks. Thanks so much for calling with that. That is amazing. And then you and I would go on to talk about other people who just kind of dodged the bullet, like the one who got off the plane when Buddy Holly and Big Bopper and Richie Valens all went down.
Waylon Jennings. Waylon Jennings gave up his seat. That's right.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff. And we're not hurting for things to talk about, but we also love engaging with you. And we really like that connection we have with you. So let's keep it up.
gracefullyandfrankly.com. Click the microphone and then tell us who you are and where you're from. That's all there is to it.
Or vent it in a nice way. Share your stuff. That's great. We would love to hear from you. We'd call you, but then it'd get weird and you'd have to block our number and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. Well, listen, thanks again if you've just found us. And if you are here from the get, we appreciate you so much. Because who would we tell our twits to? Are you ready for this week in Totally Stupid or... Twits!
Oh, do tell.
This comes to us from none other than Czech News here on Vancouver Island.
Wow.
And in order for this to make sense to you, I have to explain that on Vancouver Island, there is a stretch of highway that is basically the lifeline of the island. It takes you from basically Langford down around Victoria all the way up. There's one way up, one way down. Yeah, there are logging roads and that sort of thing, but they're a lot rougher and they're going to take you a lot longer. So it's called the Malahat. Keep this in mind. The Malahat was closed for 4 hours starting at 3:40 a week ago, Thursday, the Trans-Canada Highway in a spot near Shawnigan Lake Road. Okay? Why? What happened? Well, it turns out the company responsible for highway maintenance on southern Vancouver Island, one of its vehicles had its crane extended and it snagged power lines.
Oh.
Like running through your grandmother's clothesline with a butterfly catching net. It snagged not one, not two, but at least 5 poles that came down because this truck had its crane up, 7 spans of wire, and some other wire that had been damaged as a result that was farther away. It also caused a small brush fire. That's not a minor thing at this time of year.
Wow.
A motorist with a fire extinguisher put that one out. MCon Services, their operator was not injured. We don't know if they still have a job.
Yeah.
But honest to God, it was fully closed till 7 p.m. and there were parts of it by Friday that were still down to just one lane. And this is all because somebody had their crane up. There are so many whys in this, you can't even start.
Yeah, I would think that would at least get you a note in your file.
Yeah, how do you not know? How are there not alarms that go off? You know, when we're closing our convertible roof, you get a sound, a constant pinging, and then it stops when it's ready to be locked in place. Somebody's not getting the pinging, Lisa.
Maybe it failed. I mean, things do fail, but still, that's pretty dumb. That's pretty twitty.
It is very twitty, and it's Canadian. I don't know if that's a bonus or not.
All right, my dear.
Stay cool, my friend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
You will. Bye.
Bye.